Let me talk about the natural history study and the clinical trials. I know I'm a bit dramatic right now, but it kind of feels like do or die to me, right? We are in a do or die moment, and let me tell you why I feel that way. CHOP got a grant 2 years ago. We're at end of year 2 with CHOP. 2.5. CHOP got a grant from an angel somewhere, who I do not know. Well, I have an idea, but anyway. To work on Syngap and STX. That was a 5-year grant. When we write the history of how we've cured this disease, that grant will be pivotal because you have Ingo and the Genius clinical team, and you have Ben Prosser and the Genius science team all working in the same building, right? That 5-year natural history study is not cheap. And that is the beating heart of our natural history study. We fund travel support, we fund Stanford, we fund Colorado as bolt-ons, but it all goes through CHOP. We have 2.5 years left of CHOP, round numbers. And if that angel gives them more money and they continue, wonderful. Or if there's so many clinical trials going on that industry wants to sustain it, wonderful. But none of that is given. What we know right now is we have 2.5 years left of CHOP cranking out data. And I'll tell you about this promise meeting this morning. I hadn't had enough coffee. Like, when we kicked off that meeting, I introduced 4 companies and clinicians from 3 of the best children's hospitals in America to each other to sit and talk together about natural history study design, biomarkers, endpoints, and to look at the data and to grill each other and figure out how we can make this better. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you right now, we saw a few things where we're like, oh, we need to push more on that, or what about this, or why isn't this in there? And there's always growing pains. That's the thing. You don't just like turn on a natural history study. It's not like you go to Costco and buy an extra large natural history study. Like, this is getting some very smart and complicated institutions to work together. But I will tell you, one thing that jumped out at me is the number of participants in the 12 to 16 bucket. The age breakdown was like, aw. And I'm like, where are those patients? And I know exactly where those patients are. They're at home with a kid that they can't pick up anymore who's having a temper tantrum and they can't figure out what the hell to do with them. Or they're chasing them as they elope down the street. Or they're hoping to God that they don't, that all the doors are locked. And then I call them and say, hey, do you want to go to CHOP? It's going to be amazing. They're like, yeah, it's going to be amazing in the airport when TSA takes me down. No, I'm not going anywhere. But so that's a problem that we need to solve, right? Because that natural history study data is what URI needs to go to the FDA, to go to the European regulators, to go to the Australians, to go to the Argentines, to go to wherever the hell he's going to go. Sorry, Peyton just walked in and now I'm cursing. And say, this is the natural history of the disease. This is what the disease looked like. So the do or die is really, we have this insane opportunity that I'm so grateful I'm not paying for all of it. We're not paying for all of it because it would cost a fortune, you guys, to get ourselves to CHOP. And what I'm going to say right now is, if you are a family who's like, Mike, I don't think I can do it, or I can't do it again, or I can't do it every 6 months, I realize there are some problems that we can't solve, but if we can help in terms of plane tickets, if you need an extra person to go, if you whatever, again, pick up the phone, call Lauren, email me, email Lauren, email Virginie, and be like, this is the problem I've got. Because it's do or die. We need to fill every slot in that study. We need to get as much data as possible so that because as painful as it is the most efficient way to get things done. Yuri put the Stoke slide up here. Is Yuri still with us? No. When Stoke figured out they had a molecule to make a drug for Dravet, they looked at doing a phase 1 study and then they said, okay, show me the natural history study. They weren't happy with the natural history study, so they didn't start a trial. And instead they did run their own natural history study for 2 years. Could you imagine sitting in this room having Yuri tell you, we have treated monkeys, we have cured Syngap in so many goddamn mice, but we'll be with you in 2 years after this natural history study. we would all take turns losing our minds. But instead, by doing this bigger, broad, promised natural history study, that data is available to Yuri's group, it's available to all the companies on this sponsor slide. This is how we get it done, by getting in front of it, because we are in a multi-year parallel project that is really hard to appreciate the complexity of. Like everybody walks out of this conference today with a headache. That's why there's ibuprofen on the table. All that means is you're a normal human being. This is complicated, right? And we don't bore you with all the details, because we can barely keep them straight, to be honest. But we tell you what's absolutely critical for you to do, and that is to go to this natural history study at least every year, if not every 6 months, and get your data in there. And by the way, you're not just doing me a favor when you do this. There are hundreds of neurologists in America who do not have a clue how to treat Syngap 1. There are 3 neurologists in America, well, it's more like 5 or 6, but the 3 big ones are Gillian McKee at CHOP, Megan Abbott at Colorado, and Juliette Knowles at Stanford. There's also Ingo at CHOP, and there's also Chrisley Messer at Stanford. But these people are pros, and they really care. I think I said this the other day. These people could be making a lot more money working half as hard, right? So they're brilliant, they're great at places, they work with us, they really give a damn. And not only will they collect this data with a level of rigor, this morning I was blown away when I understood all the checks and balances and data cleaning and madness that they do. But they will say, why are you on this drug? Or why aren't you on this drug? Or why did your neurologist do this? Or do you need this letter? And then they will follow up and support you with that. So you should absolutely see going to the natural history study as a way to help the community and a way to help yourself by getting world-class clinical care. These people are best of the best.